Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel, and I am with you today for a monthly favourites video yet again. Where has the time gone? I don't know. This month has been another shit show. Not going to go into it because I don't really want to dwell on all the poo things, and instead we're going to dwell on all the nice things because, god damn it, we need it. So I'm going to go straight into it. We've got decks first. I've got 5 decks, 3 tarot, 1 oracle, 1 affirmations. I'm going to try and get this in like a reasonable amount of time because I don't want these to run too long, but I do have a fair bit to show or talk about today. So the first deck that I used a fair bit this month was the TdM Marseille Feel Good. I used it for the first week ahead reading that I did this month. I didn't do as many week ahead readings this month. I felt drawn to doing more daily pulls, or just, you know, pulling for when I had like a specific question or query. But this one was really fun to use. The backs, it's quite large, it's quite glossy. It's a mass market French deck. I do have a walkthrough, so I'll try to remember to link them down below, but you can always just, you know, go have a look on my channel. They're all quite recent, the ones that I'm mentioning here, apart from one of them, which anyway, meh. So yeah, it's a very sort of Gen Z kind of deck. This, I believe, is meant to be the oldest looking woman in the deck, it appears, but her face doesn't look particularly old. I don't know if the fact that she's got those little like cheeks is meant to indicate that she's older and she's got white hair, or she might just be rocking like trendy white hair, because that has definitely been a thing. But yeah, it's not technically a Marseille, it's Marseille-esque. So we do have some cards, pip cards, that stick to the traditional Marseille layout, and then others that very much do not and are just very pippish. Gotta love some pink hair and black lippy. I've definitely rocked this combo in my time. So here's a good example. Here we have the 5 of Swords, and it is not in the classic Marseille arrangement, but we have here the 8 of Coins, and we have the 2 columns, or sometimes I guess you do get 2 sets of, it depends, but you've got like the 2 columns and then the sort of floral motif down the middle. We've got some very cool looking characters in this. So we've got the the Page of Swords, sorry, Valet de Épée. Love her glasses, love her jacket, love her victory rolls, love it. It's just really cute. It's just really fun and colourful, and just a, you know, a little bit of a switch up from like a classic Marseille. And not everyone's into the style of a classic Marseille, so this might be a good, fairly accessible alternative for folks. Just bear in mind, if you're wanting to learn Tarot de Marseille and you want a first deck, this isn't a Tarot de Marseille, okay? If you just want to learn to read pippishly, then go ahead, but this is not gonna, if you want to learn to read Marseille, this is not gonna be quite right, but you know, whatever, you do you, I'm not the boss of you, you know. So yeah, so that was the first one, really enjoyed that. And then the next tarot deck that I use quite a bit, again, Squid Cock, and this is Squid Cock, Squid Cake Marseille, which this is my indie version in the mass market box. But again, I do have a walkthrough of this if you want to see the whole thing, because you can get the mass market version now, and it is just as cute. It's just edged in pink. It's just, I love it. It's all the pink. It's so, come on, it's so fun and colourful and cheeky, and the Justice with the 2 different coffee cups. It's just fun, yo. Did I just say yo? And the little white book is great. I've been keeping this literally down by my tarot trolley / altar, because the little white book's really great. It's nice to have something smaller than Yoav Bendov's book to just pull out for referral, because that's the one that I use most for, like, if I want a text to pull out. But this is so handy dandy and small, so yeah, this one got a lot of use. But I think I mentioned this in last month, so I'm not going to dwell on that one. And then the third tarot deck that I used either came in at the end of last month or the beginning of this month. I can't quite remember, but it is the Diverse Tarot de Marseille by Elisa, I want to say. I will link the creator's walkthrough of this down below, because she goes into her colour choices and why she's chosen the colours in this deck. She redrew a... oh, I can't remember now what she redrew an old deck, an old classic Marseille. Yeah, it's really great colour. So each of the suits, as you can see, the coins had green backgrounds, the swords have a sort of yellowy beige background, the cups have a blue background, and I'm loving the characters with pink and like teal hair, and then the wands have a sort of warm rose pink background. So you've got that working for you already. Again, if you're learning Marseille, it's going to be a bit quicker and easier for you to sort of choose between the two, get a quick snapshot of what balance of what number of, can I has words, what the fuck. Basically, you can get a quick snapshot of what's going on in your reading when things are colour coordinated, and I think it's really good when you've got, I know that beginners often get a bit mixed up with between the swords and the wands, because people think of swords as like straight like this rather than sort of scimitar shaped like this. It can throw people off, but if you know that they are different colours, it's going to make it a lot easier. So this one was drawn to have more diversity, more people of the global majority in there, which is great. It's diverse in that sense, but it's not like Tom Benjamin's one where you've also got, disability and a bit more sort of body diversity and things like that. But for a Tarot de Marseille, I'm going to take it. So any more diverse Marseille decks I'm trying to snap up, because the more that happens, the more it's telling the market that we want more diverse Marseille decks. It's been happening with the Smithwaite, and now I would like to see it happen with the Marseille. So those are the 3 tarot decks, again all Pip/Marseilles, because that's just how I've been rolling this month again. And then I did combine these decks with a couple of other decks. So the first one was one that came out to play, one that I got at the beginning of last year, which is Thera-pets. I really just needed some softness this month. I really needed some gentleness, and so doing daily pulls with this was really, really nice. So I would pull one of these, and then maybe I would pull from here, or the new choice, or not the new choice, sorry, that's a different deck, the diverse or the feel good. These two look really cute together, as you can imagine, with the colours. And when I'm feeling more myself, I do find this deck way overly like schmaltzy and a bit much. But when I'm having a really rough time, sometimes the messages make me annoyed, because my anxiety or the things that I'm facing, or that we are just generally facing as people, you can't kind of like self-help or like positively think your way out of it. And you kind of need to face things and act, but it does sort of work for a particular kind of headspace. So this was really, I've put it aside now because I feel like I'm okay. So I've got itchy, it's allergy season already, and I'm getting like the tip of my nose starts to get itchy. But yeah, it's really colourful and fun. And this is by, who is it? By Kate Allen, who has a number of publications on. I think she's got another deck out. Maybe I'm wrong. I think she's got colouring books and other kinds of books. She's an artist that I follow on Instagram. This one's cute, colourful. It's your weirdness that makes you wonderful. I can get behind that. So yeah, like, I mean, again, like, this isn't always a message that's gonna work. But yeah, so You know, sometimes you can do the thing. They can be very simple, but other times, you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Like, it works, but not always. So that was pairing really nicely with those decks. But then I'd also been very kindly sent Thistledown by Stephanie of Three Trees Tarot. I got sent a prototype, and I did do a walkthrough of this one as well. Again, I'll try to remember it to link it down below. If not, they're all fairly recent. The only one that isn't recent was this one. This was from last year, but it's easy to search in my channel. But yeah, this is really, really lovely. And I was pulling this with this deck. And some of them, you know, they don't always match colour-wise, but like the sentiments and the support felt really nice together. You know, so for example, this and this, colour-wise, they don't really go very well, but sort of light and it's your weirdness that makes you wonderful kind of works together, right? The artwork in this deck is stunning. I just feel it's very sweet, but doesn't hide from the sort of darker elements. Oh, come on, camera. This camera. Badger. Very sweet. The artwork is by Adam Ohlers, yet again, who also did the artwork for the Oak, Ash and Thorn and the Smoke, Ash and Ember decks. Really, really lovely. And I found this was good medicine. This was. So I really enjoyed this. Well, so yeah, so those were the decks that I used. And I'm trying to, I've made a bit of a mess on my desk. So, but yeah, so anyone else have any of these decks or have used any of these decks together before? I'm always interested to see what people, like what pairings people do. It's always fun. So yeah, that is those. Let's just pop these all over out of the way. Okay, books. So I spoke about this in last week's video, which was about not forcing it, which was a response, a VR to Milena Teresa's video about not forcing things when things aren't working. And I mentioned that I had been partway through like 3 different Tarot de Marseille books, and this month I could just not get my ass into gear to like carry on reading them. I think I just burned myself out on Marseille books, you know. I did read quite a bit, so instead of forcing it by sort of partway through the month, I was like, do you know what, no, let's just not worry about it, put them aside. I wasn't interested in any non-fiction. In fact, I was just interested in reading Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Crows, the Six of Crows duology. This is the collector's edition, which is beautiful, and it is in it's in the Grishaverse. It's been tied in with the Shadow and Bone Netflix show, but in the books they are 2 separate stories in the same universe. But I loved this so much. So yeah, in the mornings, instead of reading non-fiction, I was taking this downstairs and then reading this, because I would get, you know, I read in bed at night. I've been trying to read in bed at night more often, but because I'm not very good at staying up late, I would only get a short way in and then fall asleep. Reading to sleep is like the nicest feeling, but it means that sometimes I do have to find other times to read as well. Otherwise it would have taken me a month of Sundays to read this bad boy. I don't know if I like this more than the first one, because the first one was really good, but this one, I don't know, because you know the characters even more by the time you get to this one, and it's just, oh, it's just exciting. So I am fully like in love with the Crows, the 6 Crows, and yeah, I highly recommend this if you enjoy, if you've watched the Shadow and Bone show. The books are much better, but I feel like sort of one of those wankers, the book's better, but it is. The second season I don't think was as strong as the first, and I think they were trying to do too much, and they're tying in 2 stories that don't usually go together. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. It did spoil me for the remaining 2 Shadow and Bone books, because I've only read the first one, but I kind of like don't care. I don't know if I'm going to bother finishing that trilogy, because not that bothered by Alina Starkov's story. I found these lot far more compelling, so really enjoyed that. And then at the beginning of this week, the end of last week, beginning of this week, no, it was beginning of this week, I started reading The Colour of Magic by Terry Pratchett. I've only read like 2 or 3 Pratchett books before this. I read Guards, Night Watch. I think I read another one, or did I? I don't know. Anyway, I asked friends, like, where should I start if I wanted to start reading Terry Pratchett? And it was a lot of overwhelming responses from like my nerdy D&D friends. And in the end I was like, I don't know who to follow. So in the end I just went, I'm just going to go in chronological order of them being published. Sod it. So I can really see how Pratchett's style, like writing, had improved and evolved by the time he even got to book 8, which I think was Night Watch. No, was Guards, sorry. Yeah, book 8, Guards, which was, I think, the first Terry Pratchett book that I read. But I'm still really enjoying it, really enjoying it. I am halfway through. Yeah, I'm halfway through. So yes, I am the kind of person that will, I didn't have a bookmark handy, so I just turn it over. It's a paperback. Like, I would not do it to this, but this. So yeah, that's going to be one of my tasks, is to read every Terry Pratchett Discworld novel. So I haven't finished this, so I can't comment on the book as a whole, but very much enjoying this. Anyone else here Terry Pratchett fan? And oh, tell her, I've read Good Omens, which I know was written with Neil Gaiman as well. But yeah, anyone have any favourite Terry Pratchetts? I'll still read them in the order that they were published, but I just know that I'll like extra look forward to reading ones that people are particularly fond of. So those are the books. Not as much on the old tarot and witchy front this month, but I don't think I just have the headspace for it. YouTube. Okay, really haven't been watching much YouTube. I watched not that much YouTube in February, even less in March, and even less this month, because with everything else going on, and then the last couple of weeks just scrabbling to get some semblance of a shop restock out, which is going out this Sunday the 30th. It might be today or yesterday. But if you're interested, go check out my shop. Again, links down below. But I just haven't had the chance to really sit and watch loads of like little videos. So what I've been doing is either listening to the Critical Role YouTube videos, and for the most part, again, lots of podcasts, which I'll get onto next. I did have a weekend where I was feeling really unwell a couple of weeks ago, and so I binge watched The Closet Historians, not the Mandragora gown, it's the one with the Beatles. It's one of her Victorian gowns that she made, and there's like a whole host of videos to go with it where she makes 2 different bustle skirts, 2 different overskirts, 3 different bodices, a fan, a hat. Like, there's a whole thing going on. I watched all of them in that weekend. It was a real like historical sewing tube binge, but I was in bed all weekend and I just needed something on whilst I sort of drifted in and out and sort of dozed. So I can definitely recommend The Closet Historian, especially that particular playlist was lots of fun. And I've watched a couple of Nicole Rudolph's Edwardian Aziraphale videos, only a couple. I know that there's one that's gone up more recently where she's making the boots. Is that the only other one? I've watched the one with the coat, and I've watched the one with like the pantaloons. So yeah, so I'll link them down below. So yeah, it's been more sort of historical sewing tube and Critical Role. No tarot tube or witch tube to talk about this month. And then podcasts. I heard a podcast mentioned on Taster, which is Tommy and Spud Talk About. Which used to be put out under Tommy Kelly's Adventures in Woo-Woo podcast, like an umbrella, as a sub podcast, but they've now created their own feed for Taster. It's really funny. It's just 2 Irish guys shooting the shit about the occult and high weirdness. I've enjoyed it for it's been going for like 2 or 3 years now, and yeah, I just really enjoy it. I've been following Tommy Kelly for longer than that, because Adventures in Woo Woo has been going a long time. He's the creator of the 40 Servants deck, if that name rings a bell for you. And yeah, Spud is Tommy and Spud. Spud mentioned a podcast called Vayse, Vayse, which is put out by two guys. It started in autumn last year, and it's two guys from the north, from Preston, from the north of England, and they are talking about their journeys into the occult and high strangeness. So they've always been interested in the spooky and the weird and the macabre, but they're actively stepping on the path of practicing magic and really sort of starting to get involved in that kind of thing and incorporate it into their lives. And so they are bringing us along for the ride, and I have really been enjoying it so much. So I will definitely be linking that down below. Particular favorites for me, the Ghostbusters episode was fun and a little bit bananas, and then another one that I listened to this week was where they talk to Mark Vincent about high strangeness and sigils and that kind of thing. I really enjoyed a lot of what Mark Vincent had to say. I didn't agree with him on everything. I'm not a fan of NLP. I'm not a fan of CBT being used for fibromyalgia. As someone who has experienced that, I actually find it quite gaslighty, but I do think there is some merit to what he was talking about with regards to the mind and pain. And he had a lot of interesting things to say about sigils, and I'm always interested in sigil stuff. I have been for several years now, and it's just always nice to hear someone else's take on that. So that was fun. And then one that I saw that was recommended by Vayse, I think over on Twitter, was the Nonsense Bazaar, and I've only listened to 2 episodes. I've listened to their episode about Gaia TV, which is so much fun because I'm like, yeah, guys, same, hard same. And what was the other one where they talk about the Kybalion again? Yeah, so much fun. Again, I will link these down below. Films and TV. I finished The Boys season 3. I am up to date with The Boys. This was my favourite season so far. I heard a couple of people saying this, commenting down below in my other Faves videos where I'd mentioned The Boys, and yeah, I can heartily agree. It's just gotten, each series has gotten stronger than the last. It was so fun seeing my boy Jensen Ackles, or Jackals as my husband calls him, just so different to Dean Winchester. You could tell he was having an absolute blast. But then of course it makes sense, it's Eric Kripke at the helm, who also helmed the first 5 seasons of Supernatural, and it was really great to see them working together. And then you've got what's his chops playing the president guy, and he's playing Bobby Singer. And I'm like, is that a flashback to like Singer, as in like from Supernatural, but also Bobby Singer, the Robert Singer that's involved in Supernatural? I just thought that was really fun. And yeah, I mean, it is not for the faint of heart. It's very gory, it's very violent, it's very graphic, it's very politically minded, it's very satirical, it's very dark humour, but I love it. I love me some Billy Butcher and his liberal use of "see you next Tuesday," which I can attest to as a Brit. A lot of us do enjoy using that word as both an insult and a term of endearment. And yeah, it's just Homelander, so frightening. He's so frightening. So I am very interested to see where it's going. I know that season 4 is in the works, so that's exciting. Glad to get it done. That weekend where I wasn't feeling well, where I binge watched Bianca Esposito of the Closet Historians Victorian Gown series, I also binge watched a chunk of 1899. And it was funny. I got to the end of 1899. I feel like it fell apart a bit. But I was like, this really is giving me like Dark vibes, as in Dark, the Netflix show. And then I went onto the Wikipedia at the end. I always wait until I have finished watching a film or an entire series before I look at the Wikipedia, because I have spoiled myself by accident a number of times doing that, so I just don't do it anymore. But of course, it's the same team that did Dark, so it makes sense. I have not finished Dark, no spoilers. I am only 1/4 or 1/3 of the way into season 2, and I had my season 2 watch was put on hold because there was a breast cancer storyline in there, and I at the time was dealing with a breast cancer scare, and I've just not ever gone back to it, but I feel like there's enough distance at least now for me to maybe go back and watch it. But it was a big trigger for me because obviously I'm in the midst of a breast cancer scare and waiting on like tests and all sorts of things, and yeah, this storyline about this woman doing it was just too much. So, but I enjoyed 1899. I enjoyed the 1899ness of it, as in the historical clothing and the beautiful ocean liner and all that. It looks a bit like the Titanic, but obviously like 13 years before. Very nice. Shadow and Bone. I did season 2 of Shadow and Bone. I enjoyed it. Not as much as season 1, but I really enjoyed what's his name? Stormhold. Him. So much fun. And I finally got to meet him in this book. So that was cool. As in like literary wise. I think the guy playing him did a really great job. And the twins. I can't remember the twins' names. That's going to bug me. Hold on. That was it. Toma and Tolia, the twins. They are so much fun, and I just really enjoyed both actors playing them. I was super into it, and you know, just seeing the crows. I did find myself a lot of the time just wanting to like jump through Alina's stuff, like just kind of like chomping at the bit just to get back to the crows. Except when Stormhold, I can't fucking remember. Anyway, him, the privateer, not a pirate, a privateer, him. If he was on screen in that side of the story, I was all golden. But like the guy that plays Mal, I don't think him or the actress that plays Alina were particularly, especially the guy that plays Mal, I don't know. Ben Barnes was doing a lot of heavy lifting. Zoe Wanamaker was doing a lot of heavy lifting. And yeah, I really enjoyed the guy that played, is it not Nicholas, the guy that plays Jenya's fabricator guy. What's his name? Anyway, him. I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed the way that he played that character. And then film-wise, I watched a lot of old films. There was a lot of nostalgia watching because I've been feeling very squishy. So I just wanted to watch things that I'd already seen before, so that I didn't have to focus on new stuff, and that I could, or for like nostalgia reasons. So I rewatched Titanic for the first time in over 20 years. Boy, that hits different as an adult. Just, oof, it really, really does feel way more like a gut punch. I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time in again for really maybe in about 5 years. Still know it off by heart pretty much. I was obsessed with that as a kid. Rewatched Turner and Hooch at the weekend. What else did I watch? The Time Bandits, the Terry Gilliam film. What else did we watch that was sort of an old? Yeah, just watching lots of old stuff. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, like real proper like cheese fests. So much fun. Again, like Alan Rickman and Morgan Freeman doing a lot of heavy lifting in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. They're like the two best things in the whole film. But it was a nostalgia romp. It was still fun. And then the only new film I watched this year, and I had to wait until I felt like mentally like calm enough and like had enough energy to watch it because I knew it was going to be a lot. But I loved it. Was Everything Everywhere All at Once. I finally watched it. It was everything I hoped it was going to be. The hype, it definitely lived up to it. I just love Michelle Yeoh anyway. I've always been a Michelle Yeoh fan. And I've got goosebumps. The costuming for Joy especially was amazing. The fight scenes, amazing. It was just so much fun. So if you haven't seen it yet, and hearing that it's like in an allegory for ADHD, I was like, wow, this is, yeah. So, okay, getting towards the end now. Ooh, pushing half an hour. We're getting there, don't worry. So we've got Instagram. Diamonds and Dog Hair was an Instagram account that was recommended to me by like, you know, they do those Instagram recommendations, suggestions, which usually annoy me, but this was a good one. So Diamonds and Dog Hair is Millie Diamond, and she does styling outfits. Lots of fun. She's very into sort of lots of black and green and leopard print. She has a very like specific aesthetic going on, but she's very good at putting outfits together. And it's just, I just enjoy seeing people curate things in a really fun and interesting way and stick to their own like personal style. So if you're interested in personal, slightly gothy, slightly punk kind of London, she's in London as well, she's a Londoner, then check her out. Again, links down below. Another one is Rachel Burke of iMakestagram. She, I believe, is an Australian artist slash clothing maker who does really the complete opposite to Diamonds and Dog Hair, where it's very sort of lots of monochromatic stuff with a bit of leopard print and a bit of lime green. iMakestagram is a absolute rainbow. It's like the two sides of my personality actually in two Instagram accounts. But she does a lot of like wearable art. She does stuff with like recycled tinsel and tulle and netting and mad stuff, like so much fun. I just find her stuff really fun and inspiring and like a real feast for the eyes. Just joy, that's what it is. Wearable joy. So if you want to see some bananas wearable joy, go check her out. And the final Instagram mention is my friend Lisa, who did I mention her earlier? I can't remember if I mentioned her earlier or not, but a lot of my daily pulls with my tarot deck this week, I was doing daily pulls with the, oh, there goes my bloody phone, of course, with the Diverse Tarot de Marseille, was inspired by my friend Lisa over at the Ritualist, who has been doing some daily pulls with the Jean de Dahl tarot. I believe it's the Fleur Noir edition. But I love the way that Lisa writes about tarot, and I just wanted to support a friend because me and Lisa go way back. I've known Lisa, God, I don't know, like 15 years, and I'm really enjoying her Ritualist Instagram. She does have a blog, which I think she's trying to move over to a different platform. I'll have a look and see if it's still available, because if it is, I will share it, because she writes beautifully. Her daily card pulls, I just love hearing how she speaks about the tarot specifically, and just seeing her practicing witchcraft. She does a lot more sort of ceremonial grimoire stuff. I don't really do that kind of thing, but she also does have like folkish stuff that she does, and it's been really interesting to see her get back into this, and like seeing her grow as a practitioner. She's definitely taken the bull by the horns and does way more than I do, which is just really fun. Another reason I haven't been watching as much YouTube is when I've been working, if I've not been listening to a podcast or listening to Critical Role, I have been listening to music, which is so funny because in my faves the last 2 months previously, I was like, I haven't really listened to any music. It was the complete opposite this month. I listened to more music this month than I have in all of last year, I'm pretty sure. I was listening to lots of Billie Eilish and Lil Nas X at the beginning of the month because I love both of them, and I just think they put out really great music. So that was like the beginning, that was at the top of April, and then I got into like playlists. So I was listening to some of my own playlists, and then other playlists that you can follow that other people have made, and it was everything from like trad goth and to like 80s synth to like modern synth and vaporwave, through to like I made my own playlist of like noughties, poppy, boppy kind of stuff that I would have danced to when I would go out clubbing. So that was a real like nostalgia trip. So yeah, just loads and loads of music. So it's been really nice to find my joy in music again. Really, really loving it. And then finally, Misk, just to wrap this all up. I got some new D&D dice, some new polyhedral dice. I have a new character for a new campaign. He is a very pretty, sad goth boy Gloomstalker Ranger. I've not played a Ranger before, and I ordered some. This is not going to be any good. Don't do that. I call them forbidden candies, but come on, camera. Oh my god, camera, stop being a banana. These are like pearlescent with purple, violet and green. Now in the photo they look more like white and green, which is what I wanted. If I had actually taken time to read the description, it does say violet with green, and people had reviewed and taken pictures that looked much more close to how they look in real life than the actual listing does. I do think they should update the listing photo for that. So that was a shame. I will try to... I don't buy expensive polyhedral dice because they're kind of out of my budget. I would love some, like, you know, fancy, like, sharp edge resin ones or custom ones, but maybe one day. But they're still really pretty and they still kind of work for this character. But I would like to get a couple of other sets. I'd like to get a more white and green pearlescent or opalescent, and then like a green pair because he's a ranger. And then I got the black marble because he's a goth boy. He's a ranger, but he doesn't wear black. He doesn't wear browns and greens. He wears like black because the woodland that he comes from, it's a homebrew, by the way. The woodland that he comes from is dark and spooky. So yeah, that's my goth boy, and he's called Draven because he was kind of inspired by Brendan Lee's character. Eric Draven in The Crow, as well as like Prince Nawada. So my Draven has long white hair, and like a couple of other like sad goth boys, hot sad goth boys. But so yeah, loving my dice. For my wedding anniversary, which was this month, my husband gifted me a set of Saxon Runes. Oh my god, I had these on my wish list for ages. They are English white oak. They are hand carved, and then they're burnt and or oiled. They smell amazing. I don't know what they've been oiled with, but they've been charred. And the great thing is because you can get a set that are fully charred, so they look more black and gothy. But what I like about them being charred on one end is the dark end is the upright end. So, you know, it helps me sort of know which way the runes are meant to go. Now there's 33 of these, more than in, you know, the Norse runes. So I'm just like, even though I wanted them, I was hoping to get into runes later this year, like my autumnal kind of, you know, when autumn swings round, I always go into like study mode. This was what I was planning to do, but my husband got them for me as a surprise, as one of my presents. So if anyone has any good resources for Anglo-Saxon or Frisian or Northumberland, they go by a number of different names, runes, let me know, because there's not that many resources out there, and from what I've heard, they can be really hit and miss. So I would really appreciate any recommendations before I spend any of my my hard-earned cash on any like books or what have you, and then not be any good or not be very helpful. So that's my runes. Another one of my faves has been Lumpy's Space Princess. Now I love her anyway. She's Lumpy. She's LSP, right? But she usually sits on my bookshelf over the, I'm doing that because it's over there. But I was, again, feeling squishy, so I put her on my desk right where I could see her, because she doesn't take any shit. She don't mess with LSP, so I just felt like I needed to embody my girl LSP. So she was there on my desk this month, and I really enjoyed looking at her adorable little thing. And she's purple, and I'd love to cosplay as LSP one day. I love her. I love her voice. I love her little face. I love her little star. I just love her. Anyways, so LSP. My cutting mat. I have been obsessed with my cutting mat. I got a new cutting mat either the end of last month, beginning of this month. It is A1. It is massive. It is double-sided. It is lavender on the metric side and hot pink on the imperial side. And I will see if I can remember to put a photo in, because I can't show you it right now, but it has been so much better having a larger mat. I only had an A3 mat before this, which is really old. It's over a decade old. It's really fucked. So I still use it, but I use it for like messy stuff. I use it for like gluing and stamping and anything like that. It's like really shagged. It's really cut up, but it's nice to have one just down, like for cutting large strips of fabric without it going off the edge of this cutting mat. So yeah, super chuffed with that. Yeah, those are my faves. 38 minutes. Well, these seem to run anywhere between sort of 35 and 45 minutes. Oh well, if you're not enjoying it, you can always switch off. So I don't know when this is going up. It'll either go up Sunday the 30th of April or Monday the 1st of May. Either way, on Sunday the 30th of April at 7 p.m. UK time, I will be doing a shop drop. It's a smaller than usual, or smaller than I would have liked shop drop, because like I said, life's been lifing, things have been going on. I haven't had the time or headspace or been well enough to sew and make as much as I would like, let alone so many ideas for new things that I can never seem to get around to. It's driving me up the wall, to be quite frank, but you know, we'll just see what happens. But yeah, that'll be going up. And stuff, you don't have to stress, because stuff doesn't sell out immediately anymore. Like, it's not, because I'm updating regularly, I think the pressure is off of people. Don't panic buy as much. I don't want people to panic buy. So for example, I still had like 3 or 4 pouches in my shop until the beginning of this week, the end of last weekend, the beginning of this week, and it's been 6 weeks since my last shop drop, because I haven't had a chance to. I would usually do them every 4 weeks, but yeah, so that goes to show, like, stuff does still sit in there. I do still also have little slime monsters, mystery monsters up for grabs. There's 4 of those left, so if you're interested in not just tarot but also in weird little art doll / anxiety mystery monsters, then go check those out. Okay, that is the like self promo stuff out of the way. Needs a must, right? But yeah, that's it. What were your faves of April? How has your April been? Hopefully better than mine. Yeah, I'll be glad to see the back of this month, not gonna lie, although I've got a whole bunch of not fun stuff coming up next month either. I'm so tired. And then it'll be summer, and I don't like summer because it's too hot and it is too bright. Moan, moan, moan. That's me. So yeah, that's all. Let me know how your month's gone, what your favourites are down below, if you particularly like or have enjoyed any of the stuff that I have enjoyed this month. Let me know down below. Well, that rhymes. And yeah, thank you for taking your time out of your valuable time out of your day to listen to me blether on. And yeah, maybe I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. Hello, Kelly Bear here, and welcome to yet perfect timing. Hello, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. I am here for another monthly. Fuck bollocks. Hello, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. I am here for another monthly favourites video. Where has the time gone? Mother bollocks. Hello, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. Now I'm overthinking it and the weird stuff. No, I just drew. What is going on? Ah! Hello, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel, and I am with you today for another monthly I nearly said month aheads again. What the fuck?